One of the biggest time-consuming parts of running a business is doing sales calls. Sometimes it can even take 6 hours per day, leaving a drain of energy. But what if I told you that you can transform 1 hour of sales call into a simple DM script on Instagram and still close deals for your agency or a service that you provide? Yo, I'm Tony Busk, and for past 9 months, I've completely switched from selling my agency services on sales calls to using a simple DM script on Instagram. And in this video, I'm going to reveal you my exact DM script that gets me 2 new clients every week. But before we go into the actual script, I want to speak about when does this DM selling actually work. You see, most people think that sales calls are irreplaceable, that in order to sell, you always need to jump on a sales call with people that you just met and ask them in-depth questions about their problems, their desires, their family situation, what do they want in life, where is their business currently, and all those too personal questions, I would say. They need to spit their whole life story to you on chat, and you're a stranger. So although I was doing that for 2 years, I always felt uncomfortable that that's not the way to go for me. So firstly, when I saw this trend of selling in DMs, I thought like, no way hell that's even possible. And it actually turned out that it isn't possible unless you create an infrastructure around it. There are actually 2 crucial parts you need before you make the DM selling work for you. But when you do have them, it literally takes 20 minutes per day to run your business and still make sales. So first one of them is having the right leads. So no script is going to work for you unless your leads are qualified. And the best way to get to qualified leads is not to do cold outreach, it is not to post organically, because you're not in a full control. You're either standing in your own way or you're dependent on the algorithm pushing you to the right leads. So the best and the most predictable way to get qualified leads, if you have a good offer, is to use meta ads, more specifically profile visit ads and lead generation DM ads. And this is the example of one of my ads that I run for my agency. It's a static image ad, as you see, it's really simple. So what do we even have here? We have an offer that fits our ideal client avatar. And when we combine that to the paid ads, the result that we get are 3 to 5 inbound leads every day. Now, once we have our lead in place, the second thing you need to make this DM script work for you is the content strategy to warm those leads up. And here is one of the biggest shifts that I found out. Leads don't really trust you once they follow you or they DM you and they become an inbound lead. It doesn't really matter. They're still really cold in that situation. So when you do a funnel of ad and directly going to the sales call, the nurturing phase is just too short. They're still, you're still a stranger. So right now what happens is we expand in the nurturing phase for 1 day to maybe 2 months, but it doesn't really matter because at the end, once the trust is created, they're going to buy from you. And you can sell them in DMs. So this is the whole purpose of everything. And for that, I found that the best model and the best setup to have is to have an Instagram agency profile, but to run it as a personal brand. Here is a screenshot of my agency profile. After taking a coaching for personal branding, I literally use the same principles and apply that to this agency profile. It's faceless, as you can see, but it has the same results as when you're running a personal brand, because people sometimes love to work with actual businesses. And the most important thing is to create trust. So it doesn't matter if it's your face there. If you can create trust, you're going to sell. So what we use to create trust here is we use 1 to 3 stories per day, plus we use 1 reel per week. And the result that we get is, okay, we trust this agency, let's go with them. So as I mentioned before, this can take from 1 day to 2 months, but it doesn't really matter because once they follow you, they're gonna watch all your stories. And some people take 2 days, some people take 1 month, but once they decide they have trust in you, right? After watching your stories, watching your reels, they see that you're there every day, they will just DM you and you will be able to close them right there in DMs. And if you can see, we are doing something here. This is sort of a funnel. It's a really simple funnel. It has 3 steps, but there are 2 steps, as I mentioned, before you go into the DM script and a conversion phase. We've covered the new followers, how to get new leads in, how to get qualified leads using the ads. Then we covered the nurturing phase, what to do, how to set up the funnel, how to make people trust you. So now once we cover those 2 elements, you're at the end of the funnel where you can use a DM script and make it really work. And I call this the 1% funnel. I use this for my agency, and I've actually made a free training on step-by-step process. How does this actually works? How you can set it up for yourself. It's gonna be the first link down below so you can check it out. So now let's dive into the DM selling script. When I was doing sales calls before, there was the framework that I was always following and I had this picture in my mind. So this is from the sales call. So what we currently are doing here is we are transforming the sales call into DM script, but it's actually the same thing, right? So let me explain this image. So first of all, there are 4 stages that people are in, and in 3 stages, you're asking questions. The last stage, you are presenting your offer. Situation number 1 is the current client situation. They are somewhere where they don't want to be because they have a different goal. And the desired goal is the Paradise Island. That's why I call this framework the Paradise Island framework. So they're somewhere where they're not happy. And then you have to realize where their desired goal is. Okay, and you get this by asking questions, as I said. So people are standing here unhappy because they want to get to the Paradise Island. Of course, because they want to get there, they have tried some things in the past. So they tried something, but it didn't work. So you have to figure out what didn't work for them, right? What bridges did they try to build? Why did it break? Why it didn't work, right? You have to figure out the whole situation. So once you figure out where they are, where they want to be, and what did they try and what didn't work for them, you can build your own bridge, which is a pitch, okay? So you create a solution for them and show them, okay, this is how you can get to the Paradise Island. Now you can use the same thing for your DMs. And I have the questions saved up, so I just literally get those pre-filled questions and I just, shoot them so I don't manually type in every time I have to ask questions to my leads. So the first question is their current situation, like how is their business going right now? So people write you whatever they write. Then we speak about their desired goal. So what is their goal for the future? What is their Paradise Island, right? So once they tell you, okay, I want this and this, then you ask them what problems do they encounter now with the current system, because they're probably doing something to get to the desired situation, the desired goal, the Paradise Island, but they're not really successful. So you ask them, what are you currently doing to get to that goal? And then you ask them, like, why doesn't it work? Like, what do you see that it doesn't really function in that system? Like, what did you try to do and why it didn't work? And then once you see that there is a gap and that you can help with your offer, then you go and present your solution. And the way that I present my solution is I basically send them my pin post explaining my system, which is the second post in the profile. And then if they say, okay, it does make sense for me, then I send them my VSL, which is a short video mimicking a sales pitch. So I have a website where the short VSL, which is like 5-minute video, where I explain what my offer is. I break down the prices, I show them everything as I would do on a sales call. So once they get back to me, they say either, okay, that makes sense, let's work, or they say no. But sometimes people who say no continue to watch my stories, watch my content, and they say yes after 1 to 2 months. I don't really care. And one big heads up here, this only works with inbound leads that you got from the ad. So it's either follow ad, right, profile visit ad, they become your follower, or with lead generation DM ads where you had a chat with people before. So they have to come from your ads, and then it's possible to close them in DMs.